Hello YouTube, it's Atticus. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's well. I'm back with you with a new replay, and this one is a cool one. By the way, I hope you guys enjoyed my Vermintide replay that I put up. It was Legend difficulty, the hardest you can, with my Shade, who's level 30. And yeah, I got all red equipment, guys, and I'm able to run Legend pretty good. I'm getting excited for the Beastman DLC that's coming for that game. So, yeah, so today we're going to be looking at the Dwarfs versus the Vampire Counts. And yeah, historically, I would say that this matchup favored the vampires. Actually, it's one of the few ones I feel that are able to easily deal with dwarfs, unlike some matches that are really, some races that really struggle with it. I think vampires have all the tools they need. Mainly good vanguard options. Since 9 times out of 10 you're going to see dwarf units that are dwarf armies that will do just this, corner camp or play a very defensive play style. Being able to get into their back line as quick as possible and shut that down makes it really easy for you to deal with them. And you can see, guys, here, yeah, this is a perfect example of a dwarf who's playing a corner camp. So for my build, guys, I brought the Dragon Blood Prince. What's he called? The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. And yeah, this guy is a really good at melee. He's the melee equivalent fighter. His armor piercing, anti-infantry. And yeah, I put him up on a horse, guys. So he's going to have the mobility, but he won't be a big target that will get hit by dwarven artillery. And for the spells, guys, I just took the Vampire Summons, the healing one, and then the one that also gives minus melee attack. For my front line, I took some zombies, guys, and this is pretty standard when dealing with dwarves. You want something that's going to take the initial blasting charges and the artillery. So you put a couple of these guys in the front to protect your more valuable guys in the back. In my secondary line, guys, I have some skeleton warriors mixed in with some graveguard, and these one of them being the Sternsman. And these are not the armor piercing ones, guys, and I find that these guys are plenty sufficient. They'll be able to defend against all the range the dwarfs like to bring. And if you put a mortis engine in the mix, yeah, these guys, you just need something that's going to hold the dwarves in place and last, and while this thing right here will do the majority of your damage. And keep in mind, the mortis engine has to be in combat now to get its debuff. So yeah, guys, we also have a good cavalry contingent. We have a couple black knights here on the left flank. We have on this side another black knight. We also have us a black coach, and we got us in the very back, guys, some hex wraiths. So yeah, definitely a lot of backline pressure, which is really important when fighting the dwarfs. You can see I also have a couple bats here, but yeah, the name of the game, guys, is to get up in their face, use the mortis engine to bottle them all up, and the mortis engine will take their hammers down, and yeah, have all the cav and the black coach doing the majority of the damage, getting those rear charges, getting the rear penalties, and things like that. So for my opponent, guys, we have one of the rare lords, Belgor Ironhammer, and I do think he's really good in this matchup. He has a lot of good buffs, and he's really impossible to kill. I mean, if you look at his armor, guys, 120 with a silver shield, yeah, this guy doesn't die. My opponent also has the Peak Gate hammers. Also, I just have 2 units of hammers here, and I think that's really good in these matchup, guys, because they have charge defense. They're for high mass. You can't really get through them with a chariot, and yeah, they can actually do deal with monsters and stuff like that. And these guys also have armor sundering, if you look right here. So yeah, minus 30 armor, so they're going to be able to do a lot of damage. So I really have to hopefully keep them away from the mortis engine, so I'll be able to wear them down. Also have some longbeards of great weapons, one being the Grambling Guard. And in the back, guys, we have a huge force here of Coilers and Thunderers here. Yeah, a lot of armor piercing. You see he even has a couple ones over here. Coilers of great weapons, so he's doing a lot of different range options. Also have the Miners, the Regent of Renown, Elkrun Miners, and these guys just do fire damage. I think that's their niche. And then he has a really big powerful artillery corps of grudge throwers, 3 of them, so he's really banking on doing that huge damage up on the approach, but no slayers in the back to protect it, so he really was counting on this corner camp. But luckily for me, guys, I was able to get these hex wraiths in here, so as long as I could get those guys in there before he shuts down the artillery, we'll be okay. So we're going to go ahead and start the match here, guys, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, as soon as the match starts, I see that, yeah, jackpot, I picked the right side, and I'm instantly going to send in the hex wraiths. And you can see we're going to come charging in, and boom! Yeah, these undead Riders of Rohan are just going to just collapse onto these cannons here, and it's going to do a lot of damage, guys. It's going to be able to shut them down. Let's turn this volume down just a little bit. It's kind of loud. You can see my opponent is going to instantly... Oops, what'd I do? is going to instantly respawn by turning all his units around. And you can see, guys, look how much damage. Even though these Hex Wraiths have like a 40% damage reduction, yeah, just all of his damage is just destroying these guys. And I need to really, these guys are like, what, 1,100 or something like that? They're 1,200 gold. And all I've done is shut down a $700 gold Grudge Thrower. So I'm instantly going to try to get to this other one. But yeah, my opponent's done a really good job of shutting them down. And I haven't even really killed the first one here. You can see that the leadership is starting to break a little bit. But yeah, my guys are just getting destroyed a lot faster than they thought they would. And they just crumbled instantly. And all I got out of the deal was one Grudge Thrower. So yeah, definitely right off the bat, my opponent did get a better favorable engagement in that trade. Over here you can see this Grudge Thrower is pulling ahead. This is kind of a mistake. I think he was trying to get away from the Hex Wraiths, but now since he put them that far in the front, he's going to have to pull them back, waste time shooting, pulling them back once my opponent, once my forces do get into range. You can see the bats are starting to get in position. Same with my Black Knights. We're starting to push them forward. And yeah, now the Grudge Thrower should be getting into range here shortly, and they'll start being able to get into the zombies. Over on this side, guys, you can see the Black Knights and the Black Coach. And yeah, we're just being patient. He has so much range here that if I try sending my troops in now, my cav in now, they'll die instantly. So here comes the first volley of the Grudge Thrower. Gonna kill some of the Walking Dead here. He's gonna get a nice good hit. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just wasting ammunition. It's probably best to save that ammunition and try to get in these Graves Guard, which are going to do a lot more of the damage. You can see that I do have the Vampire Blood Dragon here marching among the zombies, and yeah. So now we're just going to fast forward a little bit, guys, because all it is just me, approaching in on them. Over here you can see I am trying to find an opening, but yeah, I'm going to try to get the Black Coach here and the Black Knights, and you can see my opponent is going to be respond in time. He's going to screen out the Black Knights, but yeah, I am able to get the Black Coach in, and it's instantly going to go into this honey pot right here, guys. The Black Coach does a really good, it causes terror, does a lot of damage, but you don't want to leave it in sustained combat, because if you do that, guys, it will melt pretty quickly. And you can see I'm going to get a nice charge in, and yeah, all these guys do have armor piercing, so yeah, I got to really protect that. Over here you can see this one Grudge Thrower has came back online, and he's doing a lot of damage, guys. But yeah, look how much damage the Black Knight's already taken. But if anything, I'm messing up his formation, and that's the most important part. This whole time he's responding with that, it's keeping him from hitting my front line. And you can see I did get those Black Knights into the mix too. I am kind of sacrificing them, and all I'm trying to do is just disrupt his formation. Over here you can see the bats have landed on these Thunders, and and on this Grudge piece here, or on this Grudge Thrower. And yeah, guys, I mean, they're really annoying to deal with. They're not going to kill these units, but they're going to keep them from shooting, which is just buying time for my units to pull forward. Over here you can see we're going to get a really good my opponent gets a really good volley, but he spends it on Skeleton Warriors. So yeah, you definitely want those on the Grave Guard. But yeah, we're going to start pulling ahead, and you see my formation has gotten a little messed up. Over here, the Sternsmen are going to start dealing with the Elkoran Miners, and we're going to be able to trade with them. And yeah, here you see in the main engagement, guys, the Blood Dragon is starting to get into melee. And yeah, this is what he excels at. He'll be able to deal with these Longbeards pretty effectively. And you can see the Curse of Years is going to be casted. It's going to lower the melee attack. Over here you can see a zombie summon is going to be cast, and I'm just trying to screen these guys out. And you can see that the Black Coach is going to start chasing after these guys, and now that they're all grouped up, that's just really good for me, guys. These 2 units of zombies will be able to chase these guys away, and if he does commit to fighting them, well, hey, you know what I mean, he won't be shooting me, which is more important. You can see the Black Coach is going to get a really good job in charge into these hammers, and yeah, that's the most important threat, our biggest threat to my army right now is these Thunderers, hammerers. So I'm trying to, just get a charge in, pull out, get a charge in, and pull out. You can see all throughout the back line, my opponent is getting, I'm definitely having the advantage, guys. You can see I've just collapsed on all his range units, and we're keeping them from shooting. You can see in the main engagements, though, guys, I have the Mortis Engine and an Order of Black Knights sitting here fighting Belgar. So that's kind of a mistake. I need to get my Mortis Engine into the infantry fight, because I don't have any armor piercing, and my units are going to get destroyed by these hammers. You're going to see here in a second, though, I am going to pull the Mortis Engine back. Over here, you can see some zombies are dealing with the Miners of Blasting Charges, but yeah, of course, I am going to lose that fight, so I am going to have to dedicate, troops into shutting them down here pretty shortly. You can see the Black Coach is going to get a really good charge into these Thunderers, guys. And all around the map here, we just got him isolated. And, yeah, we're just dealing, with him pretty effectively. But, yeah, Balance of Power is still, dead in the middle, guys. Over here, you can see we have 2 units of Coilers of Great Weapons who are being locked down by zombies. And that's such good value for me, guys. 150, 300 of gold, shutting down almost 1,000. Now the Mortis Engine's going to get into combat, guys. And between the Black Coach getting the rear charges and the Blood Knight and the Curse of the Years, we should be able to win this engagement. And you can see, guys, yeah, we're doing really good. These hammers are starting to drop really, really quick. Their melee attack is dropping them down to 28. So yeah, I'll take that any day. Over here you can see these bats are still dealing with these thunderers, but yeah, the leadership is starting to break. They are going to start to crumble here pretty soon, which will mean these thunderers will open up, and that's kind of unfortunate for me. If I allow these thunderers or any of these range units to open up, they're immediately going to start shooting the Mortis Engine, and the Mortis Engine is the only answer I have to these hammers. You can see between the charge of the Black Coach, we are able to break this one unit of thunderers. So now I'm going to send the Black Coach into these 2 units of correlers of great weapons, guys. We're going to get a nice juicy charge and then those guys. Over here of his artillery, guys, he does have 1 grudge thrower online, and it is going to start firing. But yeah, we have 3 units of range here that are just isolated. You can see though that the zombies are starting to crumble and the skeleton warriors. So I'm going to have to really send some forces to shut them down, because yeah, like I said, I lose that Mortis Engine, I'm going to be screwed. Over here you can see the Sternsmen are dealing with Belgor. We have shut down one of the grudge throwers, and yeah, guys, we're doing a little bit of damage. It's a lot more than you would probably think from just from the beginning. Over here I could just realize, guys, I did leave 2 units of Black Knights. I totally forgot about it, so that's a huge mistake on my part. I wasn't paying attention, and that's 900 gold wasted, or is it 700 or 900? So hopefully I will wise up to that and see that I've left those guys, meanwhile as my forces start to dwindle. Over here, guys, you can see that the Mortis Engine, even with its silver chevron, is almost dead, so I am going to have to pull it out of combat. I'm going to give it a heal, an invocation of it, the heck, or whatever it is, and I'm going to put them right back into combat. Over here, guys, you can see that some of my Sternsmen are starting to come in, and yeah, what I'm trying to do is just disrupt the AI. So I'm going to cut zombie summons. I'm just making sure they don't focus my Mortis Engine, because if I lose him, guys, I'm going to have no way of winning this fight. Over here, you can see the Black Coach is in the back of these corridors of great weapons, and yeah, he's doing pretty good. You can see terror is a pretty big advantage that I have. Even though the dwarves have really high leadership, it's definitely helping me. Over here you can see some of the shambling dead now are starting to chase after these corridors, and yeah, this whole fight, guys, his range component has pretty much been worthless. He is going to wisely start trying to separate his forces, that way he can provide a little bit of overwatch. But yeah, guys, you can see the balance of power is starting to creep into my favor. Even with my 2 Black Coaches Black Knights sitting over there pretty much worthless, we're still being able to pull this off, mainly because of this Mortis Engine. You can see we are going to break these miners, so yeah, these skeleton warriors and the Grave Guard will start to escort them off the map. Hopefully I will get my Grave Guard into the main fight though. And over here, guys, you can see that the Blood Dragon is fighting these infantry units, and we're doing a really good job, guys. You look at the health of these hammers, you can see that there are almost 32 units on this one, and the Peak Gate still has probably 47, but yeah, the majority of his troops are really hurting, and if need be, guys, I could pull my if I was starting to lose, I would still have these 2 full units of horses that I could cycle charge. Over here, the Black Coach still being a nuisance to my opponent. You can see he's trying to separate his forces here, which is really wise, but we're going to be able to break one. That terror mechanic is just really powerful for shutting down dwarfs. And yeah, just right there, as I say that, you can see that these corridors are going to break. So as long as I can escort these guys off the map, it's going to really be in my favor. Mortis Engine is starting to heal up, and it's healing my troops up, guys, but you can see most of my zombies and skeleton warriors and Grave Guard have been dealt with. But yeah, my opponent finally Belgor is going to break, because our AP of the Blood Dragon, Vampire Lord, he's just so good, and that's going to be army losses for the dwarfs. So let's go to look at the in-screen breakdown and talk about some of the keys for my success. And yeah, there's a few mistakes on my part, guys, mainly leaving 2 of these Black Knights by themselves, but definitely the key for success was breaking up the formation of the dwarfs. Having the Hex Rapes in the beginning, and then having the Black Coach go in there and just totally disrupt his defensive formation. And the Mortis Engine, guys. Mortis Engine is your answer to dealing with the dwarfs. You just have to invest in being sure that you can protect it from range. You make sure you have bats shutting down the cannons, and be sure you have either cavalry or chariots or something to make sure they can't focus fire it, guys, because it's not ethereal. It will take full damage. And the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is always a great pick for this matchup. He's not a large target, and he does really good AP. He's a really good duelist. And as for my opponent, I think he kind of over-responded with that with the backline harass. He probably really needed to keep his range units separated a little bit more. Grouping them up allowed me to be able to exploit that. So, all right, guys, it's Atticus. I hope you enjoyed that one, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.